really degradingly describe Kamala Harris. She worked with him very closely in her come up, you know, in her early stages, entry level stages. Judge O'Brown was a very famous judge. She was very attached to him. He took a lot of her attention, and she tried to grow and you know, learn from him as much as possible. I'm not going to talk anything badly about her. I'm just letting you know, guys, the history between them. And Judge O'Brown is a very famous judge. He's an internet celebrity. He's a TV celebrity, basically. He has his own judge show that was very, very famous. And I've never seen anyone talk so badly about somebody. Yeah, Kate Sim, I'll debate you right now. I've never seen somebody talk so badly about somebody in my life, guys. And so we're going to watch this. You would think Judge O'Brown, like he was the student and the teacher, right? So you'd think the teacher would describe his student in a really beautiful way now that he's about to become the president of the United States. But I've never seen somebody talk so badly about their students before, guys. So this is very interesting. Let's check this out.
But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than research.
Wow!
I was out in California for 15 years doing my show when she was at her peak, and she had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hiked her skirt up.
Oh, wow. She had a reputation of being lazy, and she just hikes her skirt up. So basically, hey, I'm a girl. Can I get some help? I get it. Like, if you're working as a server, usually the other girl servers need the most amount of help and attention. And I get what he means. So maybe that's what he means.
Try to flirt. And she wasn't that good in the courtroom, if not pretty bad in the courtroom. So I'm not surprised at what she does. She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her word salad and the way she talks, I think she's got early onset dementia and also some problems with menopausal complications.
Wow, he's saying that she has early onset dementia in the way she speaks. So maybe he sees the slurring, he sees a difference in the way she speaks. I thought that she's just drunk or like she's on some kind of medication, which is why she slurs a lot of her words sometimes, or they don't come out formulated completely. Kind of like how Nancy Pelosi speaks. You know, they're on something, but I guess this guy's saying she's on some administration or something. I've never seen a teacher talk so disparagingly about a student they had in my life. Like, she must have been really bad.
That's that, you see, the day is going to be tomorrow, so since it's going to be tomorrow, today we have tomorrow, which is why we are now. Like, what did you say? They have something in mind.
You know, that's actually accurate. She does that all the time. Ah, that's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. Let's continue.
But they cannot cognate getting all the way through it, which is why she's famous for this word salad garbage, and she doesn't make a bit of sense. I think since she's only 60.
I know what he means, guys. Look at this, for example. Look at this right here.
The governor and I, and we were all
when it comes to a word salad, listen to this.
Doing a tour of the library here, and talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children. The governor and I...
So it kind of sounds like she lost a bet there. I think that's what he means.
She's actually on a worse track than Biden was. Biden is 20-some years older than her, and he has been senile for a long time. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, when did they start ramping up to do this? 2019, Okay, I was saying Biden has been a failure his whole adult career, a second-rate,
Wow.
third-string player. He's in the game, so he wants to make a name for himself. I considered him for years poor trailer park, urban trailer park trash. And he's a crook. He's a
Yep. Him and Hunter.
third stringer. Now, what I said he was going to do is he probably wants to claim fame for being the first person to see to it that a woman got to be president.
Yep.
And what I predicted, I'm slightly wrong on it, was that he was going to get in, try to get elected, and if he got one term, try to get elected for a second one. And then halfway through his term, when he had served 2 years, to retire or resign in her favor. So under the 22nd Amendment, what happens is she can serve for the final 2 years for somebody and then be elected twice more. So that woman would be able to serve 10 years.
Yeah, you were mistaken, but I'll tell you somebody that was not mistaken and actually predicted this exactly accurately, how Kamala was going to be the president, how the first woman president is going to happen. Look how Gerald Ford predicted this accurately from 1989.
Do have a young lady at some point become president of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president under the law.
35-year-old prediction lands perfectly. Perfectly. He predicted it better than you, Joe.
And only the Franklin Delano Roosevelt who got elected to 4 terms before they put the amendment in place so you couldn't. Now, that said, I think, and my major at UCLA was political science, my analysis is they picked the weakest somebody they could as a figurehead, somebody who had some apparent minority status, which she does not. And what goes on is that you get her, everybody that is everybody would be afraid to go against her because of what she can pass herself off as. And then you get somebody that's easy to control because she's lazy, because she is becoming incoherent, and because she's always tried to do the casting couch to get where she wants.
Wow.
Now, the problem is that'll get somebody to a certain level quickly, but you can't get past that level if you don't have competence and talent. So my thing about it is if I'm crude about it, in this city years ago, I used to represent a whole bunch of pimps and hoes, and I know a hoe when I see one.
Wow.
And
I know a hoe when I see one.
I say this, I don't care, women, you do what you want to do if you want to have recreational sex, but when you do the casting couch or anything else for professional purposes to get paid or advance, you a hoe. And she's old hoe. And the problem is what is she supposed to do? Somebody, one of her sycophant slaves comes up and unwraps her in a carpet naked at Putin's feet, and he says, oh yeah, I'm Julius Caesar. He said, no, I got better stuff here already. Plus, I don't want you anyway. You old
I don't
hoe.
even want that hoe.
Get on up.
Those fake.
Oh my God, the way Joe Brown is disparaging this girl. Basically, he's saying that she's useless. She literally is good for nothing. She's lazy, so she's easy to control. She's bad at her job, so she's good for nothing. And this is, wow. And he's saying basically, well, what's she going to do in front of other presidents? She's going to basically walk around naked. They don't even want you, even if you were naked. So wow, I've never seen a human being talk so badly about somebody. And he also had got a dig on Biden. I didn't know that Judge Joe Brown is actually this pissed at Kamala and the Democrats. I didn't understand this. I thought they were all against Trump. I guess Judge Joe Brown is actually a smart individual, and is maybe it's his conservatism. Maybe he just doesn't allow nobody to lie to him, and he sees the lies. But now you guys understand why I get so mad during my segments here on my channel. Why I get a little bit heated. It's because these people are crazy, like, and the idea that we're supposed to believe them or anybody believes them really is insane to me, because they're so clearly ridiculous and should never be listened to and are not on the side of truth. And Judge O'Brien, I think that he has the same sentiment. He's a little bit upset. You can tell he's heard too many lies and he wants to completely remove them. Now let's finish up listening to his final words here. But wow, I'm actually surprised. I've never seen anybody like this before, guys. Before we end, I do want to tell you a little bit about Kamala's history. She really was a horrible prosecutor. Her history as a lawyer was horrible. She prosecuted nearly 2,000 people for marijuana-related offenses in 6 years. She also put people in jail and advocated for punishing parents for truancy of their children. The penalties included fines and possible jail time. My office prosecutes parents. She says, my office prosecutes parents in a specialized truancy court we created that combines closed court monitoring with tailored family services. Harris wrote in 2009, to date, I have prosecuted 20 parents of young children for truancy. The penalty of truancy charged as a misdemeanor is a fine of up to $2,500 or up to a year in jail. So she's putting parents of children that are having, you know, I mean, if you're having truancy issues, that means you're already having a big struggle at home, or your life is already a struggle, you know what I mean? But leave it to Kamala Harris to really complete the ruination of your life and force you to have a $2,500 fine or go to jail because your son is not going to school. So what? Your son is not going to school, so how am I going to fix it? By sending you to jail? Wow. Okay. But I just wanted to show you guys that her record speaks for itself. It's disgusting itself. Her record is absolutely disgusting. And so no wonder that Judge Joe Brown and anyone close to her that's known her sincerely only can talk really badly about her.
Or Xi Jinping, is he supposed to be impressed? She's doing word salad. Well, we're here today because China and the U.S. are here today, and that's why we have to agree on what we're doing here today. Like, fool, what did you just say?
Yeah, he got it right. He got the movement right of her hands, and he got the word salad right. That's basically how she does it. Yeah, we just listen to it, guys. The significance of the passage of time.
You know, did you say anything? And I've never seen such a salacious mess as I've seen
Salacious.
out of her. I think of One West Bank. I had some pretty good properties out in California at one point in time. And I know I had 3 neighbors who had good properties. It was in a place called Ojai, California. And they got caught up about 15, 16 years ago, like a lot of people did, in that mortgage bundling scam stuff that was going on. And there was a bank called One West Bank responsible for it, which was owned by George Soros. The Mnuchin that you have out of the Obama administration was Mnuchin, who was the CEO of One West Bank. Well, there were approximately 1,200 counts of indictments returned against Mnuchin and One West Bank in various counties in California.
Wow.
Well, Mnuchin and
Judge Joe Brown is talking about the Democrats' corruption.
Soros financed and arranged and sponsored Kamala to run for Attorney General of California. They got her elected. She got in, and using the authority she had, she promptly consolidated all 5,200 counts and dismissed them. And a couple of weeks later, Soros sold One West Bank for $4.2 billion. So after that, they got together and got her finance and got everything organized and made the connections for her, and she got elected to U.S. Senator. Willie Brown made the initial contacts and arrangements so she could get elected as district attorney for San Francisco. She didn't do a very good job. She had a reputation for giving out the stiffest sentences in the United States of America for simple possession of marijuana in San Francisco, forgot.
Yeah, we saw her record. Her record is abysmal. It's abysmal. It's disgusting. Putting parents of children in jail up to a year for fucking truancy. Prosecuted over 2,000 cases for marijuana in 6 years. I mean, come on. She's absolutely disgusting. Like, to come up and stand up for the rights of the liberals is a load of bullshit that Kamala Harris does not care for at all.
Sakes, but it was only to young black men. She's not a parent, never had any children, but she went off on this campaign to lock parents up, some of whom actually were shown to have dropped their children off at the school, but they played hooky, so she was putting them in jail.
So even the truancy cases she was prosecuting were not real truancies. I mean, this is the most disgusting human being in the world, and she's about to become the president of the United States.
I know my in-laws, now late in-laws, because they're dead, and their fine daughter that I was married to, we were divorced. She got a whole lot of money, but anyway, out of me. What wound up happening was there was a liquor store they like to patronize on the way home, and it was a good liquor store, but it got held up a lot, so Kamala's solution was not go get the crooks, but close down the liquor store so nobody would be troubled by it. See, that kind of philosophy, or you've got the serial killer who's got 6 victims, and the families are writing protest letters to her, not hurry up and do something, not why you giving the guy such a light deal, is why don't you let this man plead guilty to life without parole instead of delaying it for 7 years, trying to make political hay out of it. I was caught up in a thing where this woman who was supposed to be a financial specialist wound up embezzling a lot, $1.5 million from me, about $15 million from some other black celebrities. And most of it was in the San Francisco area, not LA where I was. She consolidated the cases up there in San Francisco, took 5 years to resolve it, let her plead out not the $15 million of embezzlement, but $35,000. The sentence was 5 years in the penitentiary, 4.5 years suspended, 5 years probation. The woman wound up sitting on a bench outside Sybil Branch, which is the women's detention facility in L.A. County, for 5.5 hours. That's all the time she served, made no restitution. And la-di-da, I'm through with it now. I don't care on her behalf. Like, where?
So as you can see, Judge O'Brown basically is exposing Kamala Harris's abysmal record. That's basically what he's doing. He's like, I can't believe that she's about to become the president of the United States. She was one of the most laziest lawyers I've ever worked with. She has a reputation of being a horrible lawyer, like having the wrong mentality. Like when having a case, that instead of going and getting the criminals, she shuts down the whole liquor store. So she has this reputation of being a weird lawyer, like a non-liked lawyer, like a non-respected lawyer. And Judge Joe Brown is just giving you all the evidences behind why he believes that. And honestly, I have much more evidences. I've showed you guys the truancy cases. I've showed you guys that she herself smoked marijuana and admitted to it while she was putting people in jail for marijuana. And like, as Joe Brown confessed on a big like, she would give them the worst case scenario for their case. Like, she would give them the longest prosecution times, let alone Jimmy Dore covered this, that she wouldn't let she would hide off, she would forcefully pass failed DNA tests. She would keep prisoners in the jail cells even though they were supposed to be let out just for prison labor. There was a case where she almost let a guy that get executed when she had new information about that could stop his execution or pause it for 4 hours before his execution. She held on to that information. So there's so many cases to show you from her record that she was a horrible person. And so the idea that now she's this black woman that's going to come and save America is a load of BS. That's exactly what she's used her whole career, is that she's an Indian woman, black woman, whatever woman she wants to be. Whenever it feels good for her and it works for her, she became that kind of woman. But guys, America, don't get fooled by it. She's used it against these guys and they hate her. So don't let her use it against you guys, and you're gonna don't get fooled by her, guys. I mean, I just want to show you guys the proof that Judge Joe Brown worked with her closely and cannot say one good thing about her. He cannot mention one good, blessed thing that she did. Called her lazy, basically called her a hoe, and talked about how abysmal her record is and her mentality is trash. I mean, there's not one good thing he could say. Interested in your opinions, guys. What do you think about this video? What do you think about Kamala now after you watch this?